From the belly of the Beast Coast, Glastonbury, Connecticut, this is the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. We talk about all the fun shit that happens on the trails that most normal people don't care about. The language we use is fucking explicit and raw like the trails we run on, so don't listen with your kids! Cultra is brought to you by our Patreons and supporters, and we are 112% listener supported, and support is good.
And now, without further ado, joining us, the guest who's got it going on, it is Lenny's mom, Jenna Gould. Welcome, Jenna.
Hi, guys. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you here.
I'm so excited.
You guys can say hi.
Hi, Jenna.
What's up, Jenna? I thought you guys were all going to go first.
No, I
was too busy fangirling. Sorry.
Oh, Lenny wants to say hi. He's already came running.
Hi, Lenny.
Oh,
who's a good boy?
Look at that. Jimmy, do one of your screenshot things, okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Take a selfie of us.
Everyone's got to smile because sometimes I get you guys and you're not in a good way. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to count it down. You ready? 3, 2, 1. All right. Do you want to go post it too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Post that shit right up.
All right, start asking Jenna questions.
So last time I did a screenshot, Art was asleep while the guest was talking. He was like literally like slumped.
I was?
Yeah, you looked terrible.
Yeah.
Go back to the fan page. You can see.
Was that after? That was probably right after. I had COVID. I think right after we interviewed the jester.
Yeah, it was during the interview.
During the jester. Yeah,
There's me. There's sleeping Art. Yeah.
That was not me. That was me not at my best. So
remember the Robitussin episode where you chugged the whole bottle of Robitussin?
I don't remember that actually.
That was at your house, and then you kicked us out because I was like, Art's gonna start tripping in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that evening or the next day. So Jenna, what have you been up to?
Oh man. Well, this weekend or in general, the last couple of years, I moved down just south of Chattanooga. I live about 10 miles south of Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
I moved from South Windsor down to Chattanooga and have been running in the mountains down here and living my best dog mom life. And
yeah, those are that's great mountains there. You have, what's that? Is that Lookout Mountain there?
Yeah, we have Lookout Mountain. We've got this great little gem of a little mountain a couple miles from me called Buzzard's Roost, where you can get probably close to 20 miles in there. The Georgia Jewel trails are down here. So Pinhoti is within a couple miles of me. Cloudland Canyon's right around the corner. So
yes,
kind of a lot of great running.
Yeah. I always talk about coming out and doing a Chattanooga 100 there a couple of years back. I think, a couple of years back, like 5 years ago now. So, but yeah, that's beautiful trail running there. And it's pretty rugged there, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite as rugged as Connecticut, but it's definitely still pretty technical. I've taken plenty of face plants down here. So it's still plenty technical. There are some nice, flat trails and things like that, but there's a lot of places you can get a lot of vert and do a lot of damage. So it's good.
Now, boy, yeah, because we were looking at or kind of considering moving across the river from Chat. What do they call that? North Chat? Is that what it's called? Or
yeah, North Chat, exactly.
Yeah. That had a nice vibe to it there, I thought,
Yeah, it's a great little spot. There's a lot of like outdoor stores and like places to eat. They're very pet friendly too. You can bring your dog just about everywhere there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of great walking and stuff over there too. So I'm probably, I don't know, with traffic, maybe 20 minutes from North Chat.
Okay. So you go over there and walk the bridge?
Yeah, we do go over and walk the bridge. They're closing it down this summer for the first time ever for renovation. So that's kind of a bummer, but
oh boy.
Or I guess it's winter. I don't know what time of year.
Yeah, it's a great pedestrian bridge, nice views off it, as I recall, and some sports fields underneath it. And, just a whole really active community, one of those gathering places for humans, so
Yeah, they've extended actually an entire trail that goes from downtown Chat all the way out into Cloudland Canyon, basically,
Wow. Huh.
through like Lula Lake and everything. So I haven't gone through the whole trail yet, but it looks really neat. So
It's not like 419 miles yet, is it? Or no?
not yet. No,
No.
I forget how many miles it is, but I
Okay.
think it's like 30 something or something
So
like
it's not quite like Erie Canal level, but it's still
not,
pretty
no,
good, right?
no, nobody quite has those bragging rights yet.
Okay. All right. All right.
You can take a mountain bike though, so you could bike it.
Okay. All right. Wow. So Barkley Fall Classic. Tell us, like, had you ever done that before or?
Never.
Yeah.
No.
So what were you thinking?
Great question. I wasn't. I don't think it's the problem. Yeah, I had watched the documentary Barkley Marathons,
Mhm.
the race that eats their young, or whatever. I think a lot of people saw it on Netflix, right?
Sure.
So I'd really followed that ever since. And then when I'd seen the Fall Classic, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks kind of neat, but I'm sure I could never do that ever. And then when I moved down here, I'm about just under 2.5 hours from Frozen Head. And so last year I decided I'd throw my name in the lottery, and I got chosen on the first drawing in October of last year.
Oh
So
my
I don't know if there's
gosh.
good luck or bad luck.
Yeah. So how hard is it to get into that actually?
Well,
Yeah.
It's
that's a good
easy. You just
question.
put your name in, right?
It's really
Oh.
easy.
It's
Art,
hardly
do you
like
understand
even a
how
lottery.
lotteries work, my guy?
It's like getting a table at like Paul's Diner, right?
I guess realistically, there's people that have waited years to get in and haven't gotten in.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Or not Lenny's mom,
no,
right? So did you have to play the dog card? That's the question.
yeah, I guess Lenny probably
Yeah.
helped me with
Would you
that.
would you ever consider changing your Ultra sign up name to Lenny's mom?
Oh, absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Because there's like dudes out there like Stella's dad, and like I don't know if you've ever seen like results and like
No,
people
I didn't
have
know
like
you could.
yeah, I had Jimmy Mack for like the first 3 or 4 years I ran ultras, and then once I started putting my name into Western states, I was like, well, shit, I gotta like have my real name, I think, to get picked. So I had to email Craig Thornley to be like, hey, Lord Balls at gmail.com, I believe is his address. And I was like, hey, this is not my name. This is my name. He's like, all right, I'll fix it for you, whatever. I was like, thanks, sorry. He's like, yeah, it happens all the time. And I'm like, right, because there's dudes in our sport named like Stella's dad or like Rob's uncle.
Diamondback Byram.
Exactly. Yeah. Diamondback Byram.
I used to have names that I would just come up with to you run names under you run races under assumed names so that you wouldn't ruin your athlinks rivalries.
Oh, dude, the Bad Boy Running Club, don't they have there's a guy who's done every single race in England for like the last 10 years because they all like share this name, whatever. And it's like, I forget what it is, but like he's never missed a race in England.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Well, that's a cult. Bad Boy Running Club's a cult, so they get their members to do crazy shit. So
I wonder what that's like, Jimmy.
I mean, so I hung out with Lee Stewart Evans this weekend, so I have fresh of fucking shitty ideas, guys.
Oh no.
No burpees at the finish line. None.
No, nothing like that. That's what respectable people do. It's much worse than that. Guys, I got big I'm bottom dish rack energy today. I got like nothing can melt me. I'm good. Let's go.
Here we go. So Jenna, so did you once you got into this, what was your next step with that? Did you go out and check it out before you ran it, or did you just like try it all on site?
That was my intention.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Mhm.
My first step was actually I immediately texted Corey Waltering. And I knew he had been out there, and my first question I think was, how much trouble am I in since I don't know how to read a map very well? And my second question was, do I really need to get a hotel for 2 nights? And his answer was, you're probably fine on the map situation. He gave me some guidance on how to go about that. And then the hotel thing, he's like, get a hotel for 2 nights. He's like, you're going to want to shower afterwards, and you're not going to want to drive back to Chattanooga afterwards. And I started looking at the like female top times, and I think the female top times are like close to 10 hours. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long day.
Mm.
So, he was right. I definitely wanted a shower. So great advice from Corey all around on that one.
Gotcha.
So that was step one.
Okay, so what are the rules like? Like we all know the rituals for the regular Barkley. So, are there rules or rituals that apply to the Fall Classic?
Yeah. So, the first, I guess it's not really a rule, but it's kind of like I don't know, like a tradition, I guess. They like the runners, if possible, to get there on Friday night for packet pickup. The Morgan County, which is where Frozen Head is, the school system, the high school and middle school football teams run the aid stations on Saturdays. So we all try to go to the football game on Friday night. And the story is that you have a better chance of finishing if you go to the football game. So of course I went to the football game. But it was great because I got to meet a lot of people from literally all over the world that night and talk about the map and chat and watch the football game. Then they bring us all out in the field at halftime. And the whole school was just like absolutely like wild about cheering for us and everything. I've never seen that many people at like a high school football game ever. It's like
it's like Friday night lights and
yeah, it was crazy. I
awesome.
mean, I had to park like at a library like down the road. It was crazy. So that was great. And then as far as like rules, I guess, so there's no GPS at all, no like no tracking, no devices, anything like that. With the regular Barkley, people are getting books throughout the course to make sure that you hit certain points. So at the Fall Classic, you get your bib punched with different hole punches at at different spots. They're not necessarily aid stations. And in perfect Laz fashion, if you run the full 50K versus a marathon finish, your bib ends up saying something different at the end if you don't finish the 50K. If you finish the 50K. So you've got to make sure that you get your bib punches. No going off course. You cannot have any crew, no pacers, no crew. If you take anything from anybody you can't really have spectators very well there. There's really no place to spectate, but there is one spot that people could kind of
is that like the fire tower or something?
Really with this race, the only real spot you could really get to is down by the prison. You could probably have family stop at the prison and park there and see you kind of before you hit Meth Lab and Testicle.
Gotcha. Somebody's listening. I wonder. Yeah, somebody's going to listen to this and say, okay, sure. So, yeah, my family won't visit the prison anymore.
The AI bot's going to explode.
Yeah. I sold my van, so.
So if you take anything from anybody that's not part of the race, you could get disqualified for that. If you go off course, you can get disqualified or like not go through specific spots on the course. But the big things really are GPS, any outside devices, and not taking aid from anybody that is not part of the race. Those are and getting your bit punch. Those are
now.
Really
how many people are in this race?
I believe there were pretty close to 400 starters. It might have been like 380 something. It was close
wow.
To
Very good. Wow. So this is quite a difference from the regular Barkleys, which has, I forget,
40. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
like 40.
Okay. Yeah.
45 is what you said, Brett?
It used to be 35, but I guess it's 40 now.
35, 40,
So
yeah.
We had 95 finishers of the 50K. We had 145 finishers of the marathon, and we had 159 DNFs and 1 DQ. And I'm interested in the dude who got DQ'd. What did he do?
Ooh.
Yeah. What do you have
I
to
moved
do?
up to 49th place at overall today, so I really want to know.
Nice. I also have a note here that says, make sure you roast Jenna the Keurig. Talk about the Keurig. Jenna brought her own coffee maker from home.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke when I saw that on social media. You actually did bring the Keurig?
Yeah, I did.
And
That's epic.
Okay.
did you bring a Jackery?
I'm not roasting you because you brought the Keurig. I'm roasting you because it is a Keurig.
You
Did-
should probably roast me for both reasons, but
did you run with this?
no,
Okay,
well,
I mean,
I had to leave early from the hotel and I didn't know what the breakfast and coffee situation was going to be in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee. So I packed my Keurig and brought it with me to my room.
That is
and
a smart.
I made
That's a
myself
smart.
oatmeal and coffee with my Keurig.
That super smart move because
that is.
that's like control the controllables. Like I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't know what the food situation is gonna be like, so I'm gonna have to bring 4 days worth of overnight oats, I guess. Like,
And a fresh pair of underwear.
yeah, right.
Who knows?
Mark Kelly said something about that. He's like, overnight night oats are a really great ultra food, but they have a ton of fiber in them.
Oh my gosh. So bring us through. So how is the start of this? Is there a conch shell or anything like that? Or is it more decided, or what's the deal?
So it starts at 7 a.m. on the dot.
Mhm.
I don't know if there was a contract I couldn't see up there, but he does light a cigarette to start the race, just like he does at the Barkley.
Okay. Yeah.
So you get your map the night before, and I had gotten some advice. Actually, even Will had given me some good advice too of not getting too far up in the front. And one of the other big differences with the Fall Classic is it's mostly on park trails versus the actual Barkley Marathon is mostly off trail. So
Okay.
primarily you are on park trails, but you have to make sure you're going the right direction and that you don't miss certain turns and things like that because nothing's marked. So I shouldn't say nothing. There's a few major turns that are marked, but there's definitely areas that you could easily go the wrong way, and people did go the wrong way.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of time to make up for that. So we all started out in a pretty large group at 7 a.m. Right. I think sunrise was at 7:30. So it was still a little bit dark when we started. For people that are familiar with the park, there's a trail called Chimney Top that we started this year. The course changes every year. There are certain parts of the course that I'm under the impression are pretty much always a part of the race. And then other parts that get switched up, they're just typically in different orders, and how you get there are different. So Chimney Top, basically it was a very gradual 3-mile climb. There was a spot where you kind of get to this false summit, and there's like a 1/4 mile like downhill and kind of flat running. It was nice. And then it just kept going up and up for like a mile. I think I had this split up somewhere, but I think it was about I think it was close to 3 hours to get up to the end of Chimney Top.
Gotcha. So how did you feel about the course as you were running it? Like sometimes you go out on a trail and you're like, oh my God, this is like so much harder than I thought it was going to be. Or, I mean, I don't know how anything could be harder than what you expected Barkley's to be, right? But, what was it harder than you expected, or, how did you take it?
It's a good question. So I think that it was probably just as hard as I expected it, but I've never done anything that hard in my life. I was expecting to be challenged, and I had no idea if I could finish the race or not going into it. And I've had kind of a crazy year, and I had actually contemplated, should I even be running this race? Even the week before, I was kind of thinking about maybe I should back out of this. I don't know. But it was a very front-loaded course as far as I mean, there's climbing throughout the whole thing, but the worst of it, in my opinion, was very front-loaded this year, which I think suited me really well. I tend to be I haven't always been, but today I tend to be much more patient at the beginning of longer races and pretty good at running my own race. I saw some folks flying past me and other people up Chimney Top, and I was kind of in a conga line, and I'm there guys, we're here for 13 hours. We don't need to go last.
Chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out.
I don't know. So I just kind of hung out there up that first climb. It was a more than conversational pace for me. I was just chatting with the people in front of me and behind me. I had a woman who was here from another country behind me that had run the race previously that was giving me some helpful advice while we were climbing up to the top, and then somebody in front of me that it was also their first time running the race. So just taking in as much advice as I could even in the start of the race, which ended up being super helpful as our day progressed.
Gotcha. So, hey, Jimmy or Fred or Celeste, have you ever been to Frozen Head or in that area?
No.
No, but I'm on the Wikipedia page right now, and as Jenna's naming all these places, I'm like, yep, story checks out. She's good. She did it. Like, keep rolling, keep asking her questions. Let's go.
Fact check me.
Fred?
No, you're like, go Chimney Top Trail, goes, and I'm like reading. I'm like, yeah, this is all on here. This is perfect.
I've not been to Frozen Head, but I do know John Feggy Verisi, so I know Feggy. I saw the Netflix movie. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I had already known that he was going to finish, but still, while I'm watching, I'm going to go, Feggy, go! You got to make it. You only have a few minutes, so I was pretty psyched. But I know Laz, so there's that. Because I ran the Vol State way back when.
Okay.
Back before it was popular, before everybody did it.
You were country when country wasn't cool. So
yeah, that's it.
Before I was alive.
Yeah,
I think you were alive.
It was before Jenna was alive, because
Jenna was probably in elementary school when I ran the Barkley. I don't know. So it was 2011. It wasn't that long ago.
Oh, that's not that long ago.
13 years. She was like, oh, 8th grade. Come on, I remember it well. That's it.
Holland High School, class of 07.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay. Right. Never mind.
Wait, 07? So then, wait, were you born 89? So I was starting high school the year you were born.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sames.
There you go. I can't even do that math.
It was good math.
Oh my gosh. So, wow. So all right. So now you're watching all these people fly ahead, and how's it going in the middle? In the middle of the race, like how did things begin to unfold? Are you running with other people still, or after the Congo line, or does that break up, or what's it look like?
Yeah, so once I got to the top of Chimney Top, it does actually turn into a little bit of a more runnable trail. Everyone that had been there before was referring to them as the candy ass trails. I guess that's what Laz refers to them as.
That's an actual trail. Yeah.
So I was trying to make up some time on those sections, which was some other advice that was given to me, hike the really tough stuff and then make up time where you can on the stuff that you can run on. So when we got to those sections, when it was safe to pass people, I did pass some people. There were some sections even on the runnable spots where you really, from my perspective, I didn't feel comfortable passing people. Just I didn't feel it was safe. I saw some people trying, but it just wasn't worth it to me. But it really spread out up there. You get dumped out onto some Jeep road. Out there, I really didn't see people. It really spread out for a bit at that point.
So could you maybe talk about, like, I just am kind of interested in the terrain there. So is it like brambles, or is it like worn trail with a couple rocks, or is it all rocks with pieces of dirt thrown in, or mud, or what are we looking at?
It's a total mix, and we got lucky from what I'm told because it was a dry year. I guess there's been other years that have been absolute monsoons and muddy. We haven't had rain down here really in a couple months, so other than a couple sprinkles, so it's been really, really dry. And so the trails themselves were super dry. There's rocks, a lot of switchbacks. Some of the trails had like rocks you had to like climb over and whatnot to get to the other side of the trail. There were some Jeep roads. And then of course we had things like Rat Jaw and whatnot, which are off trail basically. And
again, that's I picture like, is that like briar bushes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with that?
I did bring like leather, like garden gloves, like heavy duty, like leather garden gloves.
Yeah.
That was suggested to me. So that was pretty much my only strategy with Rat Jaw. So to I guess finish on the trails themselves, the park trails are quite well maintained. I was told from a few locals in the area that they had been out like weed whacking and like maintaining some of the trails a little bit more prior to the race. So they kind of knew or were able to guess what trails might be being used.
Mhm.
And there's some Jeep road and things like that. I mean, it's technical, but it's nothing crazy. It's definitely meant for the public and maintained and things like that for the trails. So Rat
Gotcha.
Jaw is not meant for the public or anybody. 10 out of 10,
Not made
don't
for
recommend.
human consumption.
So Rat Jaw was great. So first you go to the fire tower that Fred was mentioning earlier. So you climb up to the fire tower. You have to go up there to get a punch on your bib and climb back down. And then as I'm walking over to Rat Jaw, this is pretty great. So they had mountain rescue all over the course. And this mountain rescue guy is looking right at me. And I just like trip on, like walking right to Rat Jaw, like just
Aw.
flat ground, like just right in front of the mountain rescue guy, like before I even get to Rat Jaw. And this guy was like trying so hard not to laugh as he's asking me if I'm okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm good. That was really embarrassing. I don't know if I should be going down this thing now, if I can't even make it over here on flat ground.
That's
But
great.
he's like, it's fine. You got it out of the way. You're good. You'll get down.
Nice.
So the front runners did a really nice job of taking the worst of the briars to their arms and faces and legs.
Mm.
There is a little bit of a trail that's kind of through there from what some of the veterans have said, that over the years, it's not as bad as it used to be. I don't even want to think about how bad it used to be
Yeah.
based on that. I'm still pretty cut up. I had blood all over me going down Rat Jaw, but Rat Jaw is about a mile long, and there's one like fake false, I don't know what is it. It's not a summit, like it's a false bottom. I don't have a clue. Like it stops, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And it's basically straight down. I mean, there's like an old power cable that people were trying to hold on to on the way down, but then sometimes that ended. And I mean, you're just like hands on the ground, like sliding
Oh,
down.
butt scooting.
Yeah, yeah, and like sometimes that didn't even work. You're just sliding and praying you didn't knock down the person in front of you.
Really?
And yeah,
Wow.
it was, or like grabbing onto.
Oh, so
like,
this is the scene where you're like hiking through the woods and then all of a sudden you like trip and you're like, oh, and doing cartwheels down the mountain.
Yeah. I tried to avoid the cartwheels, but yeah, exactly.
I got it.
100%. Yeah, it was like a bowling ball completely going down. I was like, I
Wow.
don't know what's going to be worse, going down or going up. And this guy looks back at me and he goes, going up. And I was like, oh no. And
No.
so we get to the bottom. This is on like the off trail section. And then we head over to a ladder they have set up to climb over the prison wall. And that turned into another conga line. Even going down Rat Jaw was a little bit of a conga line at that race. And then we go through a tunnel that's in the prison.
Yes.
That, takes us out over towards meth lab. And Testicle, which are also power line trails, but there's not as many briars out there.
Uh-huh.
But they're just as steep and ridiculous. And you're on all fours climbing up them, and then you're just sliding back down.
How did they get the names? Do we know the story behind the names?
I don't know.
And do they work? Like, is meth lab, like, do you feel like you're in a meth lab? Like,
It was bad enough. Yeah, I'm down with it.
I think there may have been a meth lab there at one time, but I can remember Testicle Spectacle has been the name forever, and I can remember saying to my wife, like, "Oh yeah, that," and she was like, "What now? It's called what?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's one. It's one of the climbs."
no, wait, did somebody wear a testicle as a spectacle?
Or is it so steep that
like
you
How
could?
did it get its name?
I've
I need to
seen
know.
glasses
I need
like
to
that,
know.
right?
Here.
I think it's really steep.
It's so
Like,
steep that you could
stretch the
see
skin
the
and-
testicles.
That would be a
That's probably
testicle
true. That's
monocle.
right, the guy in front of you,
Oh.
it's probably a
Yeah.
testicle spectacle.
As you're climbing, it's all
Yeah.
testicle spectacle if you look up because the shorts and above
Yeah.
you.
Oh, leave it to
Okay.
Celeste to figure it right out. Perfect.
Thank you,
She's got
Celeste. For
See, we were thinking
I
it was
know, I know so little about my own anatomy. I had to have Celeste explain it to me.
There's some things we weren't meant to see about ourselves. So, oh my gosh. Wow.
I'm sorry.
So
I totally interrupted you, Jenna. I'm sorry.
yeah, Jenna, please go on. Tell us more about the testicles now.
Yes.
Well, so going up and down those, it was an out and back. I honestly felt like
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I try not to laugh. Okay. Where is Becky when we need her?
That's what she said.
Should be like Gibbles. It should be called Gibbles Hill.
Yeah.
Gibbles
Yeah.
Hill. Oh my God, Jimmy, at one of your races, you got to name something Gibbles Hill.
I love, yeah. Becky, we miss you. I hope you're listening. PTO Becky, we love you.
Oh.
That'd be
There you go.
amazing. I think the hardest part though, climbing up like meth lab and whatnot, was like people would stop like going up, and then you had to like try to hold on, like not slide back down because it's that steep and that slippery. Like I don't know how people did it in the year with the mud and stuff. Because it's even when it was dry, like depending on where you had to stop, if somebody stopped in front of you and you couldn't get around them, you were like, I hope there's something to hold on to. You're using like every ounce of your strength to like just hold on to the earth so that you didn't slide back down and have to go back up. Then at the kind of towards the bottom, there were some like slippery rocks and stuff like that you had to watch out for. All of that worked out all right. It wasn't coming back up was when I started like hitting two-way traffic. So that got a little dicey. I was like trying to bomb down a hill and then there's people coming up, and I really thought I was going to take someone out in a bad way, but I didn't. So
were you, was your approach to this to try to race it, to try to go like, I know it sounded like you were, proceeding in a smart way by not going too fast in the beginning, but was that your intent? I mean, you were trying to finish this as fast as you could, right?
Sort of. I mean, I wanted to finish. That was my number one goal, but I had kind of gone into it honestly thinking that like I couldn't wait to just experience this and see it and find out what it was like. And I told myself that I wouldn't be upset if I didn't finish. It might have been a lie, but I was telling myself that. And once I got out there, like I was starting to get an idea of like how difficult like the time cutoffs were and how close all of that really is, and like get a real grasp for that. So there really wasn't at any point that I truly felt like I started racing. My only thought was just keep moving. Like there were a lot of people that were stopping at different points, and I never stopped. I mean, at the aid stations, I got my punches and filled up my water. I mean, just there's some rumors about what they have at aid stations, and they're very true. I mean, it's like Slim Jims, and I think I saw a couple granola bars at another aid station and stuff like that's. So I basically packed what I needed and carried it with me and just filled up water. At the bottom of Testicle, though, those football boys had Coke, and I don't even normally like Coke, but it was Coke with ice, and it was like the best thing in the entire world. It was 90 degrees outside.
Oh, that was my next question, is what was the temperature like?
Oh, it was very Tennessee welcoming for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah.
Was the Coke flat or fizzy?
What's that?
Was it flat or fizzy Coke?
I think it was busy. I don't even know. I have no idea. It was delicious. I was like, and people were throwing their ice away. They were throwing their ice in the trash. I'm like, no, I just dumped the ice in my bottle. It's like, what are these people doing with their ice?
Yeah. And it's 90 degrees.
There was a lot of carnage.
Yeah.
And mostly due to the heat, I think was a lot of it. I mean, I think typically the finish rate is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20 to 30%. I think that is a pretty standard finish number, but there were obviously some folks that just didn't make cutoffs for one reason or another. But going back up Ratjaw, there was a lot of people just hiding in the briars.
Gotcha. Could you tell us about the cutoffs, like what those looked like, if you recall?
So I have them here. The two major cutoffs really are the in my opinion that I was really watching for were the decision point. So if people aren't familiar with the race, there is the marathon finish, which Jimmy was talking about earlier, and the 50K finish. So your 50K is really longer than 50K, and so is the marathon's longer than a marathon. But if you don't get to what they call the decision point by it's 5 p.m., which I guess is 10 hours into the race, you cannot continue on to the 50K. You have to take the marathon finish, which is like a couple feet to the. So Laz is at the decision point, and he punches your bib at the decision point, which is great. And so that's 10 hours, and then you have 13 hours and 20 minutes to complete the race in its entirety. So it ends at 8:20 p.m. So people take different strategies with their basic watches. I chose just regular time on. I just had like a really cheap $7 Unicorn Walmart watch, and I just had the regular time on there. And I knew 5 o'clock and 8:20 were like the two things that I really was concerned about. But there were, for like aid station, the second aid station, you had to be there within 5 hours and 15 minutes.
Now, how are you feeling about the cutoffs? Like, I know you were aware of them. Were you like, so when you got to the decision point, because I guess that's the big one that you're looking for. How comfortable were you as far as making that? Did you have any doubt about that, or?
I was starting to get a little nervous later in the day, even though people said I was moving well and doing, in a good position to hit everything. But I got to the decision point at 4:09, I think it was, roughly. And so that was basically less than an hour to the cutoff.
Okay.
And then I got to the finish with, it was like an hour and 4 minutes to spare, which in the grand scheme of things, with how long it takes to get from point A to point B, like that's one wrong turn and you're done,
Yeah.
Because for the after the decision point, we had to go back up Chimney Top and come around, and a local to the area that lives there and knows the park trails well told me it was about 8 or 9 miles. So that took me just over 3 hours to get back up to the Chimney Top and then back down on the other trail. So I mean, I knew that was doable if I hiked up Chimney Top and took my time. But it was definitely harder the second time around at that point.
Yeah. Because then you're kind of wondering, like, I mean, it's one thing, like, if you're thinking like it's a road marathon, like, oh, I have this far to go in this time, and I know I can run this pace. But this is like, a lot of times you probably don't even know what the hell you're going to find around the next corner that could all of a sudden, like, turn a 20-minute mile into a 40-minute mile.
100%. Yeah, it was, I mean, you had no concept. It was kind of nice that you had no concept of like how slow or how fast your miles were in some ways, especially with that kind of race. I actually kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have liked my Garmin beeping and telling me that it took me like 3 hours to get back up 1 mile up Ratjaw or something. Like, I think I would have thrown my Garmin at Ratjaw or something. But yeah, it was you really had no idea. You were like, and then you get to a certain point, you're like, okay, I know I have to get from here to there, but I don't know how far that is and how fast I really need to keep moving.
Yes.
So
gotcha.
It was a bit of a guessing game, but my strategy was just keep moving, even when I needed to like refill like electrolytes into my bottle. Like, I just stopped and walked and refilled it. And so then when I got there, the boys could dump water in it and just keep going. Like, I just tried to be as efficient as possible so that I wasn't wasting any time.
So mentally, how were you? You were pretty comfortable during this, like feeling good, or?
Yeah, I mean, going
sounds like it. Like, I don't hear you saying, "Oh, I was hating my life," and it was, nobody told me there were going to be briars there. It's like you got to go into this thing just expecting a complete shit show, right? So
it was just like the most epic ultra experience with like everything I love about trail running. Like Friday night, like just hanging out at the football game with all these trail runners. We were just having the best time. Laz came and stood next to me on the field, out of like all the people. He was like, yeah, this looks like a good place to stand. And I'm like, oh, hi.
Yeah, there you go.
So I got to chat with him for a little bit. He's super nice. which makes me wonder why he puts on these crazy events. But then getting to the race, I mean, I just talked to people all day. I found out everybody's bib basically was like a ranking system, essentially, is what I learned from other veterans. And so I knew how to like tell how many times roughly somebody had run a race by what their bib number was. So
okay.
I tried to like target those people and be like, hey, how many times have you run this?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and,
Folks, are you listening? This is what smart ultra runners do. They stalk other smart ultra runners.
so it was so awesome. I got to
And you pickpocket them, right? You pickpocket them, you check their wallet, get their social security number, you run that through your sat phone. And
I may stalk a few of them on Facebook. I don't know.
yeah, you know, may
That's smart.
allegedly.
This is all smart. These are all things I've done in races, and
Who
these
hasn't?
are how I
Jimmy?
make
Come on.
friends. This is how I make friends in ultra running, basically.
We need original content. So
But I got to talk to different people all day. Like, I spent a bunch of miles with like some people that were, you know, had never done it before, like virgins like myself that had never done it. And then once I started learning this system, I got to run a bunch of miles with a gentleman that's done the Barkley Marathon a couple of times, and he's completed a few loops of it. So that was really fun. He pointed out a few spots to me. He's like, oh, you know, one year there was a book over there and whatever, and just telling me some different things about the course and stuff like that, which was really awesome. Just really fun to hear stories about previous years at the classic and stuff too. That was really neat. And then I got split up with him. The only part that was like a little miserable was honestly going back up Ratjaw. It was kind of like if I could ever envision what a zombie apocalypse would be. Like, I think that's what it would have been. I had like, I we were kind of in a conga line again, going back up this thing again. You're trying not to slide back down. Nobody's talking to each other. This is the one time like nobody's saying a word to each other. It is like the heat of the day. And you're just getting cut left and right. Like there was blood everywhere. I have blood on my map. I have blood on my clothes. Like I washed everything over the weekend. I still have like blood on I don't know how I got blood on my hat. There's blood on my hat. Like there's blood everywhere.
I've been like, I think most of this is mine, but I'm not sure.
I have no idea. It could be someone
blood.
else's. I don't know. Everything's probably a biohazard at this point, but it is what it is. But I tried to make a joke about it being like a zombie apocalypse, but nobody thought it was funny. So that was that. I just kept moving. And there were people just like going off to the side, puking and laying down in the briars and stuff. Like it was intense. I'm just going to keep moving because I don't want to see anybody puke either.
Lots of drama.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama.
Jokes about the zombie apocalypse probably aren't as funny during the zombie apocalypse, right? Like
so.
Afterwards, you could laugh about it, but
Well, too soon.
Have you guys noticed in every zombie movie or every zombie show, like there's no they live in a world like zombies were like never a thing before, so they don't really know, right? Except for like Shaun of the Dead, or very few of them are self-referential, right? So that maybe that's what the thing. Maybe people are like looking at you, Jenna, like there's no such thing as zombies, and they're like, "Fuck, we're the zombies." Like they didn't realize it.
Awesome.
Right? That's my theory.
I like it. I'm reading a book called Undead Ultra, and it's about this couple, or it's about these two ultra runners who are running partners. You know, they're ultra runner partners. This young lady and this older dude, and they go running. You know, they run together, and they've run all these 100-milers, and they've done all this. You know, all these. They reference all of the runs. And then all of a sudden a zombie apocalypse breaks out. And then their families are like 110 miles or something like that. And like 200 miles
maybe.
away.
112?
Probably 112 miles. Thank you, Fred. Sorry.
All right. Is this book real? Did you have AI write you a book?
No, it's true. It's true.
It sounds like AI wrote you this book, and you're fucking reading a book that AI wrote you.
No. And then they have to, the zombies are attracted by the sound of cars, so that they have to
You totally
run.
wrote this book. You totally wrote this book, dude.
So they're running there, and then they're like telling.
Is there Desitin in the book? Is there
There is. Well, there's like lube. They talk about lube and shitting themselves, and they reference things to like, other people think they're crazy, even in the middle of the apocalypse. And they're like, we're ultra runners. That's where you run anything longer than 26.2, the standard distance for a marathon. So like,
This is dialogue from the book that Art wrote for the book. This is actual dialogue.
Wait, what's the name of this book?
It's called Undead Ultra.
I'm going to look on Amazon right now.
I'm
Hold on,
looking up
You
right
can
now.
look it up,
real quick. Nick Decio hit me up and said, "Hey, we went to school together." I said, "Do you have any questions?" And he said, "Yeah, 2025 or 2026 for Barkley."
Oh, 2025. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's $1.60 ready.
That's a great
Okay,
question.
this is a whole series, Art.
Yeah.
Undead Ultra.
Well, she wrote a whole bunch of zombie books.
Wait. Is this zombie smut? This is a new
I'm
genre?
gonna find out.
She talks like an ultra runner in this.
If
though.
it is, Celeste probably already has it, Jimmy.
We just had two worlds collide here. We had Art's fake AI book, and then Celeste, her fairy smut books. These are like a new genre. And ultra running. Oh my god!
Smut,
it's zombie smut.
We're cornering the market here.
Zombies will eat
Really
anything.
look it up.
So
Jenna's like, I really regret coming on this show now. I really regret saying yes.
Yes. Jenna's like, oh my
I
god,
should have known better.
you didn't hit record, did you? I get to
Did
sign off on the final product, right?
Did you hit record?
I can refuse this, right? I didn't sign anything. You can't. I want to lawyer up right now.
Too late. Oh, I got
Oh my gosh. So you're running now. Did you get any idea of where you stood in the field or how things were going like that? Or did you give a shit? Or
I had no idea. I didn't have the slightest clue, which was also bizarre.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like usually you have some general idea.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought I was probably in like the top third-ish, which I think probably was pretty accurate actually.
Mhm.
But I didn't have a clue. When I finally finished, there wasn't a whole lot of service out there. And I texted my parents who were a little not too keen on me being out there with a map, knowing that I can't really follow a GPS navigation very well.
Yeah. It's like you having a map going out there with a menu from Denny's, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's the Waffle House, but yeah.
Yeah,
We have the
a Waffle House
down here.
menu. So
Yeah. But I had found that there was like this kind of live tracking the day of. So I had texted everybody at like 5 a.m. I was like, hey, sorry, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. But there is this kind of live tracking. You can see when I like pass these certain points. So they already knew I finished. And I said, yeah, I have no idea how I did though. And my dad told me that I had come in 8th place. I'm like, how did you know? I said, I don't even know. And he was like, I can tell on the link that you sent us. And I was like, oh, fancy. So that's literally how I found out. Was I was walking in circles between my car and trying to find food, trying to figure out like where in life I was and how I was going to acquire the food that was free. And I had a ticket for it. And I just like didn't really know how to get from point A to point B. I was just like wandering in circles in the parking lot.
So you weren't lost on the course, but once you got back to camp, you were like fucked, right?
100%. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would say like people. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I went to check into a hotel. I went to check into the hotel in Providence this weekend, and it took like 20 minutes to walk from where we parked our car in the parking garage down to the front desk. I get down to the front desk and I didn't have my wallet. So I couldn't check in. But luckily I had my running shoes on. So I was able to run through the parking, like run through these
was
lobbies.
Sunday night or after you ran the 50 miles?
No, before.
Oh, Jesus. What happened?
It was what do you mean?
Were you high? What the fuck? Like,
I just know I had because I had a suitcase, I had my pack, I had all these things. We were trying to get to what's it called? River water fire.
Oh yeah, the fire on the water or whatever.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Providence. And we were trying to get to that for the lighting. So we were in a big hurry. So, I was just trying to pull up all my shit, and I had like a very busy day. I had like trail maintenance earlier in the day, the trail run with Clint, for Clint and the whole thing. And by the time I got there, I'd already run 6 miles, done trail maintenance for an hour or two, and then was running through the parking garage. Sorry, long story, irrelevant, doesn't have anything to do with Barclays.
Were there zombies?
Or zombies really so much, but I had my running shoes and it was good. It felt good to be a runner because I got back in like 3 minutes, probably, according to my watch. So, okay. So yeah, so you finished and then you're trying to find the food and everything like that. And what was the vibe like back at the camp there?
Oh, it's definitely a party.
Uh-huh.
I mean, at the finish line, there were people that had hung out and were cheering everybody into the marathon and the 50K. Once I made my way in my Crocs, I'd taken my disgusting shoes off
Mm.
and put my Crocs on, the real super shoes, and made my way to the food. I just sat down at a picnic table, started talking to some more people. One of the folks that I had shared some miles with, his wife was actually running. She finished ahead of me by, I think, about a half hour. So I got to meet her. She was really awesome. So I got to talk with some more people while we ate. And yeah, so it was a good time. There were some people staying there a lot later. I think I stayed until probably close to 8 o'clock before I headed back, and I decided it was probably time to get back to my hotel before I got any more tired than I was. But yeah, it was a really fun vibe. There were people camping there though for the whole weekend and things like that.
Oh, nice.
So there were people staying like right there too.
Yeah. Did you regret having a hotel room?
Not for a second.
Not
I
for
think
a
the
second.
hotel might have regretted letting me book the hotel room.
Yes.
But no, I did not regret.
Excuse me, could I have like 8 extra towels, please? And
Oh, that's
like
literally what happened.
a gallon of scrubby soap.
Yeah.
You have any Simple Green?
So the night before the race, there was a Morgan Wallen concert, I guess, in Knoxville. So when I went to check in, the lady's like, "Oh, are you here to see the concert?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm here for the race." And she goes, "Oh, what race?" I'm like, "Oh, never mind."
You know, you know.
Frozen head. But then I heard all those guys coming in at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we had gotten an emergency whistle in our packet pickup bags, and it took everything in my power not to test it out at like 4:30 while I was firing up the Keurig just to see how those Morgan Wallen folks were doing.
Yeah. Make sure.
Yeah,
Probably terrible like his music.
Yeah.
I restrained myself. I did not test out the emergency whistle, but I thought about it. And then when I came back, I was like, it was a mess. I mean, I was covered in a lot of dirt and a lot of blood. Laz commented on how clean I kept my bib. He was really impressed, but clearly he didn't see my map or anything else because everything else was a hot mess. And I didn't even go up to my room. I was like, "Can I have some more towels and some more soap?" And she just looked at me and she's like, yeah. And she's like, she comes back with a stack of stuff. She's like, "I'm sorry, we were really short staffed today, but here's some pool towels and a washcloth, and here's a couple bars of soap. And yeah, just here you."
And just take it and go.
Yeah.
And I've called 911. Okay.
she's just looking at me. She's like, "It looks like you had fun today." Yeah, I did. Thanks. Bye.
Wow. Did you end up going to the swimming pool after this, or?
I probably should have, but the swimming pool did not look a whole lot cleaner than I did. So I opted for the shower.
The leprechaun pool.
Yeah.
The one with the big green tint. Wow. So how did you feel the next day?
Oh dear. I don't think I've ever been this sore after a race in my entire life.
Yeah.
Or in this much pain, but it was like absolutely amazing. Like I guess it's like a lot of races. Yeah, I literally was having the absolute time of my life, and I said going into this that this was going to be a one and done thing for me. Like I wanted to go experience it, and then I'd never do it again. And like by the end of the race, I had just met so many amazing people and was having such an awesome time and I was suffering so much too. Like I've never by the end of the race, it it physically hurt like in my quads and my hamstrings to
Well,
run on them. I was
yeah.
this is like intensive. This already hurts today. Like this is going to be rough tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, because the range of motion sounds like you're basically putting your chin to your knee, like you're probably using just like it's not like a running stride by any stretch of the imagination, right? It's more like a active lunges or something,
And even my shoulders from sliding down and landing on my hands,
Mm,
I'm like, and when my shoulders hurt tomorrow, I need to remember this is why. And my shoulders
yeah.
are still sore. Like everything was sore. But I had no real chafing issues, no blisters, nothing. I mean, a couple little hot spots, which quite frankly, with how steep everything was, it didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Now, did people use poles at all for this or no?
You're not allowed to use poles in the Fall Classic. You can use them
Good.
at the marathon, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I picture in the marathon, in Barkley marathons, I picture them using poles for that. But I was also imagining 400 people with poles on running, no.
it would have been a disaster. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So did you what kind of shoes did you think about your shoe choice for this very much, or did you just kind of wear what you have, or what did you use?
Yeah, I've been enjoying the Hoka I don't even know if I say this right, the Mafate Speed 4s or whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest bummer was that I'd kind of blown out my last pair shortly before this race. So I had to buy a fairly newer pair, which was kind of a bummer because I didn't know how badly I was going to trash them at this race. But they were a great shoe choice for this race. They had plenty of grip on them. They were comfortable from start to finish for me, and I had no issues. So it was money well spent not trying to wear shoes that were blown out.
Yeah.
And they didn't totally die. There's some rubber coming off the bottom now, but they're still alive. Still alive.
Very good.
The clothing choices were the biggest debate. I had some long texting conversations with Will about this too, and I thought I had everything picked out that I was going to wear, like mostly stuff I didn't care if it made it home. And but then I started panicking about the briars and the shorts situation. And I had this fear about what if my shorts rip on Radjaw? So then I switched shorts at last minute because I didn't want my shorts to rip on Radjaw.
Yeah.
And so I went from having this spandex pair of shorts that have gone through the wash too many times and are kind of pilling and stuff. And I wore a pair of their rabbit mountain climber shorts that I've also had. I ran my first ultra in them actually, but so I switched to those because they have a liner. So I figured they're a little bit stronger material and there's a liner. So I felt like it was a safer choice. And,
sure.
Now we know how Testicle Spectacle got the name.
Yeah, well, and my fear turned out not to be so irrational. It didn't happen to me, but it did happen to somebody that was in front of me for a while. And so I felt very good about my clothing choice as well. But some people, you bring 2 pairs of shorts. So there's that. I don't know. I didn't bring 2 pairs of shorts.
Yeah. No, I could see that. You don't want to when you're carrying things from when you're carrying a bag of fruit from the grocery store, you don't want to dump it all in the parking lot. Right. I mean, I hate when that happens. So I was running in a pair of shorts that has a liner in them and has the shell. I think they're oh boy, what are they called? The pace, or what are they called? Oh God, I forget it.
While you're thinking about that, can I ask Jenna some questions?
Yeah, please talk about something. Right. Yeah.
So Jenna, what kind of shit do you think about so you're not allowed to have any electronic devices at all?
No.
So you had no Taylor Swift tunes for 12 and a half hours or whatever you're out there?
That's correct.
So I always bring music to an ultra. I was even if I run a 15 miler, I'll have it for the last 10 or something like that. But what does someone think about when they don't have any means to distract themselves?
I think that's why I kept stalking people. And I just started talking to them.
Did you come off? Did you come off as hey, what's up? Or were we like Gollum? Were we like, Precious needs information, Precious?
No, I
Because
literally called him
I've
by
been
their,
Gollum. I've been Gollum like at the end of races before. Like,
I literally just called them by their bib number and be like, "Hey, you've run this race a bunch of times. Like, tell me about it." And they would. They were like so excited to talk about it. So it was great. And but then yeah, like the last lap around like on the 50K, I had kind of lost some of my friends on that loop. And
oh, they're dead.
yeah.
They all died. You actually out-survived them. That's what Barkley Fall Classic is.
There was a few miles of climbing. I was alone. And then I was like making conversation with Mountain Rescue when I saw them at various points. And they're like, "You look great." And I'm like, "You can stop lying. It's really fine. Thank you." Though.
Where are you? Where are my friends? They were like, they didn't make it.
Yeah. But then somebody caught up with me. This guy caught up with me and I talked to him for the last few miles. He had run it once before and he was telling me all about how he makes his own gels and he was trying that out during the race and it was great. So now I've learned all about his recipe for making his own version of, I don't know, it's like I've heard people talk about it. It's like precision 30 or precision 90. I don't know, some kind of, who knows? I don't know. Anyway, I guess I wasn't listening that good. He makes his own gels and that's what he brought.
Okay,
And
would you run this again?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're already up to absolutely. I thought you like swore it off right afterwards, right? You were
Oh no,
one
so that was kind of before I said I wasn't doing it again.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then it was kind of like at the very end, I was thinking, I don't know. But by the time I was done with it, like I just had so much fun. I was like, I get it why people do this. Like this was absolutely awful, but it was amazing. Like it was the most suffering I've ever done in my life. But like if there wasn't for the veteran runners there, like I wouldn't have been able to finish. And it was kind of like this whole like community thing, I think was what I really took away from this race, is that it wasn't entirely about the race. I mean, yeah, there were some people that obviously wanted to go because the top female and top male get an automatic entry into the Barkley Marathon. And I joked with a few people before the race that if God forbid that happened to me, I would wait in front of the finish line until somebody passed me so I'd come in second. No interest in that. Thank you.
Thanks, but no thanks.
What would you do?
I think
If you were
Scott
leading a race,
Greger.
would you? Oh, sorry.
Scott Greger won a couple years back.
Yeah. What happened to him?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. So here's a little
He was
Clint
a
Moore
beast.
story, is that Scott Greger won. And then he said, I don't know anything about trail. I mean, I don't know anything about like navigation or Barkleyizing things, how to do this. So I actually put him and Clint Morse in contact with each other because I felt that Clint was, he was the best navigator, as an orienteering professional. He definitely knew, map reading, and he knew that he had the craft down pat. So, so that's another quick Clint story. I'm sorry. And then Jimmy, you were saying, I don't know if you.
I had another question, but now I forget it. If Earth had a capital, what would you say? Would it be New York City? I was just thinking about weird shit I think about on really, really long runs too. And I think about this stuff all the time. What do you guys think? What would be Earth's capital? I think Berlin. I think Berlin would be a better location, maybe.
Maybe Tokyo.
Tokyo.
No.
Ooh.
Tokyo.
Pretty good.
I think it's got to be Athens.
Ooh, Athens.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Or Hawaii,
Okay.
because that's the youngest,
That would be the
or
hardest to get
Iceland.
to,
I don't
'cause
know. It depends. I don't think we can decide. I think we have warring capitals. So,
Well, here, if aliens come, we got to be like, well, they were like, where are we meeting? I'm like, well, United Nations is New York, but then we got like stuff in the Netherlands, in The Hague or whatever. Like, where do we go? Like, where do we go? London would be cool, right?
no,
London would
if
be
aliens
cool.
came here and wanted to meet, they'd be like, well, why the fuck would you meet on land? Because 7/10 of your planet is water.
Exactly.
So,
So here, people, this is something to think about on your next long run.
Yeah. So I have to ask you this, Jenna. Did you have any songs stuck in your head?
Oh boy. I don't know that I did actually during the race itself. I definitely was blasting a lot of Taylor Swift on the way over. Just to,
Okay. So
um,
do you ever get songs stuck in your head when you're
I
out
do
running?
sometimes. I do.
Wow, that must be very troubling
It is
and distressing, right?
very.
Jeez. If only there were a way to help that, right?
I know. I don't even know what number I'd call.
Yeah, I mean, if a number to call, that's a great idea. Shit. I bet. I mean, oh, actually, I just remembered now. Actually, Cultra Trail Running Podcast, which is the name of this podcast, we have our own. We've kind of thought this out. I don't know. Our founding fathers came up with this. Is that you can actually, if you ever get a song stuck in your head, you can call the Cultra Karaoke Hotline.
It's pretty awesome.
Is
It
that in the
is.
Culture Constitution, Art?
It is, yes.
Founding fathers, yeah.
They framed it out, and so if you wanted to call the Culture Karaoke Hotline, you would just call 203 Dog Gent, and you sing the song that's stuck in your head, and we'll play it on the podcast, and the song will get out of your head, and you'll become podcast famous. So, I have to say this though, Jenna. So some people have troubles remembering numbers, right? Like 203 Dog Gent, even though that's mostly letters, I get it, but they have troubles remembering numbers. So, but this is easy because you just think of what a gentleman dog looks like, right?
That's right.
So, how would you, if you had a picture in your head of what a gentleman dog would look like somebody like Lenny, even, right? What do you? How would you picture a gentleman dog?
I mean, Lenny has a bow tie on, so that makes him a nice gentleman, I think.
For dinner, right? Or during
Yeah,
meals
absolutely.
at least.
I
Right.
Yeah,
wanna
he
see
likes
Lenny
wearing
in a
hats too.
tie.
Not on casual Friday, though. A bow tie. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's great. So yeah. So
I like it. Bow tie and a hat.
yeah, we actually got somebody that called our number here at 203 Dog Gent. And I'm gonna play this message right now and we'll see if this works here. Let's see. And here we go.
We were both young when I first saw you. I see the lights, see the party, the ballroom, standing there on a balcony in summer air.
Well, there you go. Short and sweet. And it all makes sense, right?
I don't know that song.
Jimmy does.
Who's that? What's that singing? I always want to know who's singing. I don't care about the song. I'm like, who one of our friends? Identify yourself, people.
You know what? That was our mystery singer. It
You know
might
who it
even have
is.
been my wife. It probably
Oh,
wasn't.
right,
I'm
because you
thinking this
couldn't
time.
tell when Peggy called that one time.
Oh God, I remember that. Yeah, that was not good. That was not a good day in Byram history. So
Okay, I didn't even know what song that was. I guess that's.
I feel like Peggy's very forgiving, but I would not let you off the hook for that one, my guy.
yeah, no, I was I couldn't help it. You know, I couldn't help myself then. I was just distracted. I wasn't thinking. It was like clashing of worlds, you know. So, all right. So Jenna, do you what was the longest that you would run prior to this, or like what other like races, you know, had you done prior to this that are notable?
The longest distance I had done prior to this was I ran 50 miles on the Blue Ridge Mountain to Sea Trail back in April. That was a pretty fun day. It kind of stemmed from I was signed up to run Cloudland Canyon 50 mile in December of last year, and I've had kind of a crazy year of some medical issues, and I with losing some of my vision in my right eye and stuff. I was in the hospital actually a couple days before the race, and the race director was kind enough to defer me to this year. So, but I still really wanted to run 50 miles. So one of my friends kind of put together this point-to-point 50-mile route on Mountain to Sea Trail. So that was really fun. Prior to that, I had run the Cloudland Canyon 50K, one of my first years down here.
Yeah.
And then in Connecticut, I had done Trap Rock, Fimbler's Bluff.
All right.
The classics.
Yes. Yes.
So that's
Excellent.
pretty much it. And that made me really
She's
qualified for this race.
never run blue to blue, but you run a qualifier now. Wait, where is it? There it is.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to take a trip to Connecticut.
Come run blue to blue. I always say I just want to have like the logo just be like, come run blue to blue, get wrecked.
I'm in.
Very good. Well, that's awesome. So, but it
I'll
sounds
watch
like
Lenny.
Even
That's
better.
right, yeah.
It's perfect.
Jenna gets done with the race. Where'd Celeste go?
That's what happened. She would abscond with Lenny.
It's got
Absolutely.
So, have you thought about? Do you have any plans for what's next for you, or?
Right up next is going to be Cloudland Canyon 50 mile, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
that's just set the first weekend of December,
Mhm.
and then
Do they run you down the stairs there?
oh yeah,
They do.
all like 500 of them. Yeah,
And
I'll be
back
ready.
down and back down to the waterfall.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice. That's wonderful. So, yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful area there. We saw a pig down there when I ran it. So,
Yeah, there's like wild boar out.
yeah,
to-
I mean a boar. See, a pig sounds like like little Porky,
I would pet a boar too.
yeah.
but a boar is like that's like beast,
And Fred probably knows about the insane number of armadillos we have down here.
Oh yeah, my God.
It's wild.
I rarely see them alive, John.
I've only seen them dead, but
Many sleeping on the side of the road. Like,
Do they like bounce and run and roll and stuff like that? They're like fucking little insane critters, aren't they?
they're not very good at dodging cars because you see them washed in the road all the time.
I saw one when I was running in, I think it was Florida, and like a jungle trail, and one kind of jumped out like I startled it, and it was like, oh my God, hide me, and the thing just like was like pronging, and I don't know what it was doing.
Quit lying. He was like, oh, it's you, Byram, whatever.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, no, he wasn't like from like, that would be like a bear at Wawayanda. Like those bears don't give a shit. They're like, oh, I'm fucking you're camping here. Oh, how cute for you.
I don't think I've ever seen an armadillo.
Where's my Fruit
your
Loops?
Snickers?
You got to come run down in Georgia.
I was gonna say like
As many as you want.
I finally saw my first porcupine a couple years ago in New Hampshire.
Oh.
Like,
Oh yeah.
and I never saw one before, and I was like, oh shit! Like I've seen a moose. Like I've seen elk, and like when I was in Wyoming and stuff. Like,
Hold on, you saw a moose running, or?
this was years ago when in Maine on a family vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I never
I'm
saw a
always
moose
nervous
running.
to see
I'd be
one
dead.
running.
I'm sure I'd be dead if I saw a moose running. Right? Like they fuck
That's
you
what
up.
I'm saying.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
I'd definitely be dead because I'd try to pet it.
Mm.
Although I saw a skunk the other day and I did walk away. So
It could have
That's
been
good.
a cat with the stripe.
no, I have video. It was definitely a skunk, but it was a cute little floofer.
Wait. What other weird wildlife is down your way, Jenna?
Well, the armadillos, the boars, the snakes are something else down here. Let me tell you, they are not Connecticut snakes.
Oh, it's like copperheads and shit, right?
Yeah, and these
Well,
like
we have copperheads.
we got these timber rattlers down here. They're like,
Oh,
this is really good podcasting, but they're like this big.
Jenna's motioning is like the size of her head, or maybe the
That's-
size of a large loaf of sourdough.
that's right. Yes, a baguette.
It's bigger than a baguette.
They're
Large loaf
and they're
of,
like
a large loaf of sourdough.
yes, exactly. That's perfect. And they're like 6 feet long. They're the most enormous snakes ever, and they're all over the place. And I was terrified I was going to see one this weekend. But somebody told me that you just want to make sure you're like the fourth person you're either the first person or the fourth person to pass the snake. I don't know if that's made up or not, but you don't want to be the third person because supposedly they'll strike at the third person. I don't know. But when I moved down here, everybody was like, do you carry a venom kit with you? And I was like, no, but the way people keep asking me, I don't know. Should I? But I don't.
But I got Desitin. I think Desitin works as a
Yeah,
venom
yeah.
kit, right, Fred?
Always. Yeah.
on everything.
Okay. Fact check. Okay, so allegedly. So we don't know.
Well,
I mean, nobody's going to.
We're not doctors.
The mountains out here anyway. If you get bit, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're screwed. You can't like like you're always screwed with wildlife, right? Like, okay, if you see a bear, whatever you do, don't run. Okay. Okay. Spoiler alert. I was running when I met you, I mean, that's like, I was already running, so that shouldn't count. And the snakes, like all of a sudden I saw a timber rattler once in Connecticut, and just, there's not a lot. There's a couple, there's some areas in Glastonbury and stuff, but I ran up on one and it scared the shit out of me because it was right in the middle of the trail and I wasn't leaving until it left. So.
Don't you have a rattlesnake mountain in your town?
In Glastonbury?
Yeah.
No. Oh, I mean, we have Mishamasik, which means
Farmington, I think.
Oh,
Farmington. Okay.
Yeah, that's by Pinnacle.
It's like, is it New Britain, Farmington, somewhere around there? West Hartford, maybe?
Correct. It's not West Hartford. It's on the way. It's after 6 before.
That's hard hitting. Is that hard hitting New Britain?
Yeah, it's right before.
Place.
But I think
I'm sorry, we're playing Jeopardy. What is hard hitting New Britain?
There you go.
The clue is Mark W. Kelly.
Oh,
Mark W. Kelly, Rattlesnake Mountain, and
a hell of a library.
There you go.
I mean, a museum. Excuse me. I love that art museum.
What is hard hitting New Britain? I'll take Connecticut fucked up towns for 600. What is Torrington?
What is Hartford, Connecticut on my wall right there?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, is that from the Dead? That's from the Dead show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Yep. Yeah, that's well, I guess East Hartford, I guess, right?
Wow, that's practically the belly of the Beast Coast. Glastonbury, Connecticut.
It's over by the Meadows and like Founders Plaza, that area.
Huh. That's like the stairs, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Running the stairs.
Listen, here's another plot twist to what we were talking about earlier to the Camille story. What if it's not her husband and Camille has an evil twin?
Oh, I love it. Let's go
back to you, Art.
Okay. Oh, Jimmy, we just lost all our sponsors thanks to you.
No, a friend just texted me and said that. And I'm like, never thought about that. I'm going to introduce that. Let's see what they say. And it's like,
huh. I don't know.
I like it.
Or maybe
everybody's following this story. It's great.
Yeah, everybody is.
Can we get a Jenna quick hot take on the Camille thing?
A hot take on the Camille thing. Oh boy.
So should we fill her up to speed?
I would have to go on a 25-minute rant.
Art's
we had breaking news during the show.
No, I'm a realist, and I go by the facts, not by public opinion. And I know it's very unpopular right now. I'm like the salmon swimming against the stream up Cold Brook or Roaring Brook
or Salmon River.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that it's not true, but I don't know. How does somebody take someone else's IP address?
Oh, no, she didn't take somebody else's IP address, but she changed. She edited somebody else's. Wiki. See, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, it was Wikipedia.
Tied it to her husband's IP address at their house, didn't they? And her email address from college.
Yes, she was using that. I think she was using that account to modify Wikipedia because her traditional emails are the ones that you're not allowed to modify your own stuff. So she used some old account and then that one got banned. So then she used a different old account.
Then she went on and edited Jay-Z's page and started a whole fight with him. It was crazy.
Actually, P. Diddy did not have sex parties. Or actually, they were kicking.
Whoa, P. Diddy only had sex parties.
Actually, so P. Diddy, to tie this into running, you guys have to remember is that P. Diddy ran the city in 2003, New York City Marathon, and actually that was my first marathon. And he beat me, I'm ashamed to say. So
really?
Wow. Yeah, I ran faster.
Well, he had enough
3 weeks
lube,
later.
so he didn't chafe.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, he was already pre-lubed. And he had all those assistants, right? So, but also,
I heard the real story was he didn't have Tupac killed because Tupac was sleeping with Diddy's girl. He had Tupac killed because Tupac wouldn't sleep with Diddy.
Ooh.
Different take.
Okay.
I'm dead next, so nice knowing
I'm
you guys.
confused.
Are you putting that on Wikipedia, Jimmy?
So Diddy, so that was always the rumor, right? Like the whole East Coast West Coast thing, like Suge Knight. It was like that's who they went after Biggie, right? And then like Diddy and those guys wanted to go get Pac back, whatever, go get Death Row and get those guys back, whatever. So they killed Tupac. But the rumor was that Tupac was sleeping with whoever Diddy's girl was at the time, maybe Faith Hill or somebody, I don't know, some R&B singer. And that the real reason was that people always said, oh, because he was, disrespecting Diddy by sleeping with his girl. But I think the real reason was that Diddy wanted to sleep with Tupac, but Tupac was like, fuck no. And that's why he's dead.
Oh,
all right.
You guys, are you guys not watching? You guys don't like listen to
Jimmy.
You guys don't read
not-
any. You guys don't read any like rap fucking gossip? What the fuck?
I'm not. I'm not
the-
picking up what you're putting down.
And that's the
Sorry.
reason Jamie Foxx, Diddy's also the reason Jamie Foxx and Andre 3000 like kind of left Hollywood. Like apparently
How
he
about
tried to kill
Dana
Jamie
Dane?
Foxx because he.
You got any good Dana
What about
Dane
Dana Dane, the
stories?
rapper?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dana Dane, he's from the Queensbridge crew. He's trash, dude. Fuck him. No.
Or
No, he's from the
Jazzy
South,
Jeff.
He's from the South Bronx. He was in that whole feud with Eddie. Let's edit this part out.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about like 80s rap feuds.
Yeah. Or
Fresh Prince.
Dougie
Yeah,
Fresh.
we'll give back
Anyway,
on
let's
Fresh
put some
Prince and
let's put some
DJ
lipstick
Jazzy
on this.
Jeff.
Yeah, we
Put
got
some
6
lipstick on this
minutes.
pig.
6 minutes.
I got delirious. I've been on with you guys for 2.5 hours. Let's go.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, so I have to ask the Culture crew, do you guys have any closing arguments?
No. If Lenny goes missing, it wasn't me. Allegedly.
It probably was.
We'll
Jenna,
never
you're a
know. Look at your
badass.
house list.
How will they know?
Yeah.
And we think you're a badass, and we're super proud of you. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Pretty
seriously,
awesome.
Jenna.
Way to go, Jenna.
You're amazing.
So I
Yeah.
have one other thing to say. This Friday night, my daughter's getting married.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Vermont.
Oh, that's
nice.
so exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Excellent. Congratulations.
She's almost Jenna's age,
Oh, I wish her
Class
many
of
years of
2010
happiness.
from high school.
Many,
What?
many years of happiness.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, I think we will wrap it up here.
I can't wait to see the show notes.
Jenna, thank you. What?
I said I can't wait to see the show notes. Is the AI bot gonna write them? Because they're gonna be hilarious.
Oh, I don't know. No, Jimmy, could you write them, please?
Well, you want me to? I can do
Let's
it.
have AI do
If
it.
you could, that would be awesome.
I can write some copy. Let's
I'll
go.
send you the AI transcript just to kind of give you some inspiration.
Prime the pump. There you go.
No, it's
No,
just
I want AI to do it. I'm gonna be like, and then one Jenna Gould came on after they shit talked Camille Herron for.
no, we didn't. but-
First, Fred showed his computer butthole.
Yeah.
all of the Culture crew agreed that Jenna was amazing ass bad or something because they always like, like messes stuff.
And it was determined that they would be meeting in approximately 5,245
Look, we got Fred's hole again. Fred's showing his hole
7,900
again.
feet.
Look, Fred's showing his hole again.
Oh no, Fred! Really? Come on, we got to edit that out now.
Celeste wanted to see it one
Oh.
more time.
Thank you for that.
Oh, that was awesome.
Wow! So, to all of our listeners out there, and thank you first of all, thank you to all of our Patreons, including Lenny's mom, because she's got it going on.
Yeah.
If thanks to all of our Patreons. As you've noticed, we're not sponsored by Canadian Trail Fishing Magazine,
Anymore.
who wrote an opposing piece to the one that Canadian Running Magazine wrote. So it's actually the factual. If you want the real shit, go to Canadian Trail Running Magazine. They got the lowdown.
Canadian Trail
on the
Fishing Magazine.
hoedown.
How did they not break this story first?
I don't know. We fucking
God.
spoon fed it to him, Jimmy. So, And to all of our listeners out there, if you've made it this far, leave a review, okay? Give us 5 stars and we'll read it here. Or call 1-800-203-DOG-GEN, okay? If you made it this far, of course, seek professional help, and we will see you all in a mile
and a half.
All right. All right. Jenna, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
You're the
that
best,
was
Jenna.
that was a lot of fun. I think that was
That's a fun episode.
Yeah.
That was a fun episode.
So
and-
has Laz gotten you? So you're gonna run like the rest of his races now?
I do really want to run Sterling Gym. I think that would be super fun.
I do too.
Yeah, so I might sign up for that in the spring. I think that would be a good time.
Hmm.
I don't know if I can do Allstate, but I don't know. That's what I said about this race too. So
Mm.
I don't know. I
I'll
guess
say it's
we'll
not
see.
really that hard. It's just grueling. It's just
It's
like,
long,
it's a
yeah.
beat down, but
Oh.
He's so fun though. I mean, he looked at me. He's like, your skin's probably just going to disintegrate on Rat Jaw tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
thank you.
But he was like
You know what?
laughing as he said it.
Oh, I'm gonna start like remembering stuff like at one of my races. I'm just gonna like sidle up on somebody at an aid station and be like, "Hey, man, how's it going? Oof, do you have good health insurance?"
Well, and then like, so on our bib, so if you finished, I guess like all the punches are always like an answer to the question on like your bib. So, the people that finished the marathon, it said, on the first block, it says I came up, and then it's like all the punches. And on the people that finished the marathon, it spelled out a bit short. And anybody
Oh.
that finished the 50K, it spells out a big sport instead of a bit short.
Oh, okay.
But like Laz had 2 different hole punches at the decision point, so that anybody going to the marathon finish, it spelled out short, and anybody that was at the doing the 50K got a big sport.
He
That's
is a
awesome.
thinking
That's
man.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so clever. Like,
It's very clever.
yeah.
Jeez.
Very
All we
cool.
have is a monkey that screams at the beginning. That's all we got.
It's like, what's the most abusive thing I can do to my own listeners' ears? Let's do that as like our thing. That'll be our thing.
It's like not a fancy race at all, but it's just clever. And they raised like, what is it, like $290,000 for the Morgan County schools with this, just the Fall
God.
Classic.
Nice.
It's pretty
Wow.
epic.
Yeah. So they
Holy
treat us like-
cow.
like-
Hold it. You said 2. Hold it. Not, I mean, over the years, not just
In
this
11
year.
years, they've raised, I think, 290,000.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, for Morgan
yeah.
County schools.
Man, imagine if we funded education in this country. That'd be so cool.
Right. And like we're running fund education.
Seriously.
Ah,
Laz
learning's
could
overrated.
then just keep all that money. That would be so awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's why the football crew just shows up. They don't complain. They probably, they've got a
Oh,
nice
wow.
football field.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Is it like was it Gary Cantrell Memorial Field?
I know they had new bleachers. I don't know.
What's the name of the football team? That's the big question.
The jackets. I guess they're the yellow jackets.
Oh, I thought maybe they were like the name for a part of the course.
Frozen head. They should be the Frozen Heads.
The frozen heads,
Frozen
or the
heads.
testicle, the spectacles.
Testicles. The Morgan County Testes or something. That'd be great.
Oh my God.
Was the Coalfield School in there? The yellow jackets. I don't know.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
wasn't
God,
there
I was
Bill
gonna
Gates
ask you about
some
bees.
TV show, wasn't that a TV series about like the high school girls who like
Yes.
cannibalism or something when they were crashed in the woods?
Yes. I
Look it
haven't
up.
seen it, but my
Yeah.
sister-in-law told me about it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is breaking news.
God. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thanks so much. And Oh, I do need to I need to talk to you guys on the crew about next week, just to kind of talk to you about the episode for next week. So
We have an
But-
episode next week.
yeah.
All right.
I got somebody who's
thanks,
going to
guys.
come on and talk about bicarbonate and
Oh, boy.
and calories. So
That
like a
sounds
nutritionist.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Can we
Well,
just have
everybody's-
Jenna back instead? Is the
I know that would be probably more fun, but we'll see. No, actually, this person seems like they're going to be fun. Not as nearly as much fun as Jenna was, and we're probably not going to talk about testicles. I'm sure.
You never know.
never know.
So
You never know.
I mean, is it really an episode?
We got to get more of the culture crew to put their name in the lottery for next year, and then we
Oh,
can
yeah,
have
there
a
you go.
huge.
Wait, can we enter people that might not want to do it? Because that could be fun.
just go to their Wikipedia page.
We'll just
Ooh.
put all of our like Patreons in a hat and just pick out like 5 and just randomly sign them up.
I
like
think
it.
so.
I think it's a good idea.
That's a service, a benefit right there.
I think this
mean,
race was made for like
Patreon
War
fun.
Dog and Oak. Those guys would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.